I'm so happy and delighted that you are here this afternoon and to go through this conference with me. Uh, I have two things I'd like to talk to you about today. First is online learning communities as professional development training, and the online learning community that I created for Lutheran school educators. First, though, I'd like to introduce myself. I am a graduate student here at Concordia University, and I'm a teacher at Good Shepherd Lutheran School in Midwest City, Oklahoma. I teach language arts, social studies, and religion to 5th through 8th grade students, and I'm also the 7th and 8th grade homeroom teacher, so I deal with middle schoolers. Always a fun and exciting thing to do. So let's get started with this. What is an online community, you ask? Online learning communities are made up of people who share a common interest and common experiences. The members of the learning community collaborate with each other, drawing on knowledge of other members. In the learning community, the members respect each other's ideas. They actively promote the learning opportunities for all members. You share your information, what you know, what works best for you, what you like and dislike about your lesson plans, your room, even as far as going with administration, what helps you. In recent years, online learning communities have become a means for teachers to gain and develop professional skills. There are many out on the World Wide Web for teachers, although there are few geared towards the Lutheran school educator, especially in the area of technology skills. The outcomes of an online learning community is an exciting place where members can learn and expand their knowledge in a particular area of learning. So, what is the problem? That sounds great. Online learning communities are wonderful, but we wouldn't be here if we didn't have a problem. Professional development training. Over the years, education has evolved in what we see in our schools today. Just as students learn new and exciting things, teachers are learning and under pressure to learn and improve and update their knowledge, change their classroom practices, and remain ahead of their students. Yet, in the area of technology, teachers more often than not are falling behind, especially those of small Lutheran schools. These teachers often become isolated from their peers in public schools and in large private schools, and they do not receive the training that they need to be able to teach technology skills and integrate technology into the classroom. To keep ahead of our students, teachers must continually engage in professional development. At one time, this would be a day session training, maybe even an hour after school, that type of training. Research has shown that this does not work. Teachers are apt to not remember the information. The sessions go quickly. A lot of information is thrown at the teachers. They do not get it all written down. It does not retain in their heads. The author, Michael Ross, stated that most schools and teachers cannot produce the kind of learning demanded by reforms, not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how, and the systems in which they work do not support them in doing so. In many Lutheran schools, professional development training, even those one-day workshops, are offered, but they are not offered because of financial means, financial barriers. This is especially true in the small Lutheran schools, where funding for professional development is minimal or even non-existent to tight budgets. Combating this issue ought to be a key goal for administrators in every Lutheran school. However, in many, it does not happen because of the budgets, and then it is put on the back burner. An online learning community is a solution. An online learning community can be used by teachers to learn new skills and gain the training they need to stay one step ahead of their students. And that's especially true in technology. Our youth they quickly learn the new technologies. They live with it every day. There's so much they know, more so than us older people, especially me. I'm in my 40s and I have to keep up on top. I ask them questions. What's new? What do they like? What do they play with? And that's a way for me to learn too, is to get their knowledge from them. Professional development needs to be a positive impact on our students. Teachers need more than these one-time workshops. They need to be learning constantly and learning from their peers, and so that this information can be brought back into their practice in their classroom and can benefit the students. When I began my project for my graduate project, I was looking at many different things about online learning communities. And I studied and I found out that the No Federal Left Behind Act established a goal that all 8th graders will be technology proficient by 2005. Well, 2005 has come and gone, yet in our schools, we're still striving to meet that goal. This goal cannot be achieved if our teachers are not technology proficient themselves. And I think in the Lutheran schools, this is a problem. Many of our Lutheran school teachers are fearful of technology. They do not use technology because of these fears. In many public schools, they have training plans in place for their teachers to learn how to use technology to enhance their learning and teaching. A study that was conducted by the U.S. Department of Education in 2010 reported that 80% of public school districts reported that technology was a priority. 58% said that teachers were sufficiently trained to integrate technology into the classroom, while 83% reported that teachers were interested in technology and use technology in their classrooms. If those same questions were posed to Lutheran school educators, how would they reply? Would they say that they felt that their training was adequate, that they were using technology in their classrooms to the full extent? To support learning to support learning of the Lutheran school teachers, development training needs to be personalized, and this type of learning can be best done through online learning communities. Online learning communities are the latest way for teachers to be able to connect with other professionals and collaborate and gain knowledge and to keep current in the technologies required for our students to become 21st century learners. I would like to give a little background as to why I chose to head in the direction of creating an online learning community. Prior to teaching at Good Shepherd, I taught at Celebration Lutheran School in Appleton, Wisconsin. Celebration is a small school with an average student body of 75 students. At Celebration, I was asked to teach technology, computer skills, and typing to kindergarten through 8th grade students. Technology was not my area of experience. Everything I knew about technology I learned from doing things at home. But since I enjoyed doing this and I knew more than the other teachers at the school, I was asked to teach the class. However, since there was no funding for training, I was left on my own to learn what was needed to teach the course. The situation at Celebration was not I'm sure uncommon, as in other small Lutheran schools. I love teaching in an environment where the ratio of students to teachers was small and where teachers could really get to know their students and the student families. But I did not like the aspect of that there was never funding for professional development, especially in the area of technology. As part of a course in my master's program, I was tasked to find a learning gap and then develop a plan to fix it. I chose to look at Good Shepherd, where I'm teaching now, here in Midwest City, Oklahoma. To do this assignment, I thought of the lack of training that Celebration had for their teachers, and I thought maybe Midwest or Good Shepherd in Midwest City had the same problem. I would like to note though, when I started this project, I was not teaching at Good Shepherd, so I did not know the staff or the principal personally and did not know their situation of how they use technology in their rooms. I became aware of Good Shepherd's situation and that they had the same issues with training as did Celebration after discussing with the principal their school's level of technology integration in the classroom, what Web.2 technologies they use, the level of comfort the teachers felt towards technology. The teachers and the principal is also a working teacher since it's a small school, do not use technology in the classroom. They are fearful of technology. They do not know where to begin, what to do, and because of this, they have not integrated technology into the classroom. The teaching staff is on average older. The school is in a poor social economic community. The majority of the children at Good Shepherd come from single parent families. As a result, the funding for educating the students is not enormous and professional development funds are non-existent. Due to this fact, the school does not provide technology training for its teachers, and the teachers have not taken upon themselves to self-learn the technology skills that they need to integrate technology into their classrooms. So at this point, no technology is integrated into their classrooms. So my thinking led me to believe that if Good Shepherd Lutheran School and Celebration Lutheran School have this problem, then other small Lutheran schools most likely have the same problem. And the problem needs to be fixed. And how can it be fixed? And how can I help my fellow Lutheran educators? Well, to serve my fellow educators and to expand my education as well, I built an online learning community for Lutheran school teachers to aid in their understanding of Skype, as well as to use it in the classroom, while facilitating classrooms where students can become 21st century learners. Since there was so much information for a learning community about technology, I decided to narrow the subject area down to the computer-mediated communication software Skype. My learning community is geared to this one subject, so teachers are not overwhelmed with too much information. I am sure you all know what Skype is, and most likely have used it. But if you don't, it is a computer program which allows the user to make video and voice calls over the internet. It was created in 2005. Skype also allows the user to instant message each other. Skype has become well-liked and used by many people in their private lives, but many educators do not recognize the educational possibilities of this computer-mediated communication software. There are a host of different ways Skype can be used in the classroom. You can interview experts such as authors, scientists, doctors, business professionals, have them come into your classroom, talk to your students about what they do, their education, with authors, talk about a book that you are reading in the classroom with your students. Have the author tell how he writes, how he edits, and how to get a book published, and have the kids ask questions to that author about what they liked about the book, what they may have wanted to see the characters do, all those sorts of things. Skype can be used to talk to other students in other schools. You can do projects together with other students in other schools. You can also do projects within one school at different classrooms with Skype. You can study other cultures by inviting foreign classrooms into your classroom. Students can work on projects, experiments with other classrooms in different locations. You could visit museums. You can visit the rainforest or take a tour of a Civil War battlefield via virtual field trips with Skype. You can also have a 21st century modern day pen pal, but with Skype it would be a video pal. Your students can get to know someone from somewhere else in the world. You can share performances of students with parents and grandparents via Skype. You can share students' work with parents. We all have teacher conferencing with our parents. If you have a parent that cannot make teacher conferencing, cannot be in the classroom to meet with you, you could Skype with them and let them know how their child is doing. You can meet with you can have distant learning classes and tutoring with students. If you have a student who is homesick, you could give homework via Skype. If a student is out for an extended period of time, you could tutor that student with Skype. The student can then see you. You can put up work that they need to do, show websites that they may need to go to. All that is visible on Skype. You can hold staff meetings with your staff. Instead of being in person and in the building, you can hold those meetings via Skype. There are so many different ways to use Skype in the classroom. The list is almost endless. Skype online learning community that I created focuses on the needs of the Lutheran teacher. It provides resources they need to further their knowledge of the software and how to use this understanding to collaborate with colleagues by teaching other teachers how to use Skype by example, sharing ideas for integrating lessons and projects into the classroom curriculum, and getting feedback from those same colleagues. Online learning communities allow people who desire to learn the same topics to come together in one place on the World Wide Web. They share ideas and learn from each other just as we do in the classroom. Research shows that online learning communities get teachers talking about real issues that happen in the classroom, issues that are not hypothetical but really happen daily in their classrooms. With the Skype online learning community, the real life lessons that teachers have would be talked about of Skype. We would talk about what works with Skype, what we do with our kids, how to prepare for a Skype lesson. Research also shows that teachers build on their knowledge by learning new and improved ways to engage students in learning. Teachers get to question their practices. Is the way I'm teaching working? Is there a new way to improve what I do? How can I change it so my students are understanding and mastering the concepts they need to know? Research shows that teachers get to consult outside sources. Online learning communities are full of information, from resource lists that we can access to accessing information from peers through collaboration. Teachers discuss their experiences. Teachers are social and love to share what works for us. I have not met a teacher yet that keeps to themselves and bottles up what they know and does not share the information and ideas with others. In an online learning community, we share this information. And in my community, we share the information about Skype. Research also shows that online learning community teachers begin to think that they can make changes in the classroom and in their school. With the information that they learn, the real examples, teachers put into practice what they learn. These examples are not just thoughts that sound good, but they are ideas that have been proven to work by teachers so they can be repeated in the classroom. And if the practices do not go as planned and as you thought, you can always go back to the online learning community and ask your peers for help. Online learning communities allow teachers to communicate with professionals beyond their workplace. Teachers talk to teachers and peers around the world. My community is for Lutheran educators, and right now it's Lutheran educators in the United States, but hopefully it will grow to be Lutheran educators around the world. Online learning communities provide teachers with a rich source of professional learning. The community is professional learning that teachers use. A study done between the Oklahoma Educational Technology Trust and a partnership between schools and universities stated that teachers become more confident in using technology. Students were excited about having increased access and authentic technology experiences. As we learn and we become excited about using this technology, it overflows into our classroom. We use technology to make our lessons exciting to our students. We use the technology that they use every day, being from Skype or other examples of using blogs and even using iPads in the classroom. All this excites our students. It's what they live with every day. They like to bring it into the classroom also. Online learning communities are the new source of learning. They allow for repeated exposure to content, which constitutes as quality professional learning. The learner can access the information online however they like. Online learning communities suit teacher time constraints. Online learning communities can be accessed anytime. Just as we access other information online, social media like Facebook, our favorite websites, email, sites to watch videos like YouTube and TeacherTube, we can access a learning community. The community can be accessed during the teacher's break at school, during planning time, in the evening, even on Saturdays. You get the point. The teacher can access it whenever it is convenient to them. Once at the site, the teacher can stay as long as they like. If you have a few minutes or if you have an hour, it doesn't matter. However long you have to be at that site is up to you. An online learning community is for all levels of learners. You don't have to be extremely tech savvy. You don't have to know everything about this technology. All you need is the want to learn. Through professional learning communities, the teachers become confident in their abilities to use this current technology. Finally, online learning communities allow for learning everywhere. Anywhere you have an internet connection and from any type of device, you can access the community. You could be at school using the computer, you could access it at home, or if you have a smartphone, you can even access it from your phone. You are not tied to a meeting or a classroom like traditional learning workshops do. I began my online learning community by researching on how to build a learning community from the Learning Community Guide by Rich Millington. I use the information I learned from this website and others to set up my goals. and to find out what made a successful learning community. My goals were to provide a learning community for Lutheran educators that informs the members about Skype. I wanted to provide resources for the users, instructional videos, a forum for educators to use to discuss what they knew, what they wanted to learn, practices that work. I also wanted to make sure that I had a chat room like Facebook in my community where teachers could talk to each other. So I had to figure out what to host my site on. I looked around and my best choice was a Ning network site. I chose Ning because it allowed me to have the elements of a forum and a chat area for my community. The design of the web page and the elements included and the content of the pages were taken into careful consideration when creating a web page home for my learning community. To make an effective web page that teachers will use, I made sure that the site was simple but tastefully designed. More important, I made sure that the user interface was geared toward any type of user. Each element of the online learning community is important because it allows teachers to obtain information they need to advance their skills with Skype, and in turn, enhance the learning of their students. For the visual learners, I included videos as an element to this community. The videos describe how Skype is used in the classroom. It also describes Skype to those teachers who are not familiar with it, how to set up Skype, and then how to use it to enhance their student learning. Another important element to the learning community is the list of resources offered. These resources are important because they allow the teacher to be able to find articles, blogs, wikis, podcasts, and lesson plan ideas to put in place in their classrooms. And they don't have to search the World Wide Web for them. It's all in a nice, neat package for them on my learning community. When resources are in one place and easily accessible, the teachers can stay active in their learning without getting lost in the masses of information on the web. The importance of the social element of this learning community can be seen when teachers collaborate and converse with each other. The learning of those is enhanced by others. Teachers can communicate with each other through instant messaging and a forum on the community. The feeling of belonging to a community is one aspect that makes a learning community work for its members. The effects on the community in the learning are immediate. When we talk and we chat and we learn from each other, we learn so much more than listening to a classroom environment where we're just taking notes. But when we share authentic information, we learn so much more. The concept of an online learning community is also rooted in brain-based learning theory. Due to the nature of being online, there is a comfortable climate for the user to learn in. The user can access the online learning community from home, work, or even a coffee shop. The human brain is very social. It is important to offer materials through informal conversation between friends, colleagues, and other people so that the learners can experience the material being taught. In my online learning community, I felt this was very important, so I made sure that there is a forum for discussion and also the chat room for teachers to talk. Allowing the learner to access the online learning community from any place and that they feel comfortable allows the brain to fully experience the information being taught. The reduction of stress on the brain is another benefit of the online learning community. In brain-based learning, stress should be monitored and managed to make sure there is a balance of stress on the learner. The Skype online learning community is a low-stress area for the learner. Educators can log into the community for as little time as they like or for as much time. They are free to browse any area of the community at their leisure. There are no time limits and no constraints on the learner. The online learning community allows sufficient time for learning. Time is a key element for learning. Teachers are encouraged to continually develop and advance their skills. We take these professional development seminars to learn. Many of those seminars, though, toss large amounts of information at us in a short amount of time. The Skype online learning community, on the other hand, allows sufficient time for learning. The user can return to the site whenever they feel the need to. Once on the site, the user can then decide on the amount of time they need to spend learning and collaborating. Also, the online learning community gives the learner choices. When you allow the user to feel the empowerment of brain-based learning and environment, they feel that they can take charge. The online learning community gives the user choices in how to use the site and how to learn. The user can use the forum to ask questions of other educators, use the resource section to find lessons on Skype or other ideas how to use Skype, and the user can chat with colleagues through the instant messaging. All these options give the user choices and empowers their learning. Finally, the online learning community allows for strong peer support. The environment allows for the educator to collaborate with their peers. This collaboration encourages the educators to take more challenges on than they thought they could before. With their support of their peers, they are willing to do things that they never thought they would be able to do. Sharing of ideas and lessons with their peers, the educator can advance their personal education. Then the educator can take this knowledge to the classroom, enhancing the education of their students. The Skype online learning community that I created will hopefully be an exciting and an engaging place to learn and collaborate with our peers from other Lutheran schools. Remember, you can go to the site for learning whenever you want. When you have more time, please go to the Skype online learning community and become a member. The more members we have, the better the learning and collaborating and sharing of ideas will be. Are there any questions that you would like to ask of me, or have any comments that you would like to make?
But we do have some time for questions. If people would like to jump in and post some questions, please go ahead and do that. Or if you'd like to share ways in which you've found Skype to be helpful, or this is meant to be a collaborative time, so you're welcome to share.